What's up, guys? Me and Mike are just getting back from having breakfast and some coffee back here in Indiana. Yeah, so we're just giving a follow-up video pretty much back on what happened with the doctor. My MRI came back in. So basically, after the MRI, obviously it shows my PCL is a grade 3 tear. Also, I do have a meniscus tear, but obviously, like, that is somewhat common for wrestling to have, and most people probably have somewhat of a meniscus tear, but the main thing that they're concerned about operating on is the PCL and making sure that's reconstructed because that's like completely torn. The main thing that we're going to be doing now is like waiting to see which doctor is going to do the surgery, because I'm not on, university's insurance because I'm not training. Me being with Chicago Galaxy, my own, thing that I'm doing here, I'm not tied to a university like another RTC. So getting that all sorted out with insurance, getting that all sorted out with, my cousin might be the one who operates on me. We're just kind of waiting to see that now. And in the meantime, taking the time to start doing physical therapy is what I'm going to do for the next few weeks, because obviously that's something I could always do and reassess if surgery isn't, the thing that I decide to do. But I think it is. I think it's the right thing to do for me. It's just, with my wrestling career, after, being the 1 seed back in Tokyo, getting mono, things not going the way, and fighting back hard, accomplishing, winning worlds, winning 2 world medals since then, and then going to the Olympics and having my injury with my knee and not being able to compete in Paris. You're just like, I don't know how long I want to keep dragging my career if something I want to do. Looking at more of it regardless of me wrestling or not, just looking at it as like how I want to heal up as a human and being like athletic and the rest of my life, still being able to go on the mats. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, and then deciding like how I want to go from there. That's really the most important thing. So yeah, time's on my side, but at the same time, I want to get things moving here. But luckily, Hyper Ice actually sent me some stuff for recovery, so I actually got some cool stuff. They sent me this Hypervolt Go massage gun, which will be cool to use, as well as I'm most excited for is the Hyper Ice X product they gave me, which is basically I put on my knee and it can kind of change temperatures for icing or heating my knee. So I'm really excited to try these things out. And while we do that, I'm gonna do a little post-Olympics breakdown and my thoughts from competing while I test this thing out, and you kind of can hear from me and what I thought, and some cool things, and let's get into it. All right, guys, before we get into my post-Olympic thoughts, make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this video for more content that's going to be coming every week. Me and my boy Mike will be back to rolling and recording and producing content for you guys. So much appreciated if you do that, to keep following our journey. First thought of, the Olympic Games. I know there's a few different topics we could hit on, but obviously I think first people want to know what I think about my weight, the 57 kilo outcome of everything. I was pretty excited that Higuchi won. Higuchi's been one of the guys for the past 7 or 8 years who's been one of the top guys in the world. And, being silver in the Rio Olympics in 2016, coming up short. Then you kind of tried to play around going up to 65 kilos, then going down to 61 kilos. Not wrestling in Tokyo, missing weight at the Asian qualifiers, at trying to make 57. Then goes and wins the Worlds at 61, comes down. We wrestled in the finals, gets silver, comes up short last year. And then this year, finally looked determined, going back to 57 and, getting the job done. So it's kind of cool where I feel a little bit of similarities between myself and him, where it just had a lot of shortcomings in the weight and being a bigger guy in the weight class, and, performing well, looked awesome. I think the weight class 57 got skewed when I came out, the way that the bracket changed up. Also, Abakaro from Albania, he looked a little sick, or maybe made a bad weight cut, which just sometimes can happen in the sport. And, so that kind of threw things off a little bit. I think that, Spencer Lee was in a really, really good place with the draws. He had a really tough match again with China, almost lost there, but then made it through to the finals. Also, Abdullayev getting bronze was a, wrestled really well. That's his first Olympic or world medal. He took out Haratunian from Armenia. That was probably the biggest upset in the weight class, to be honest. Overall, it was a really good thing. I think, like I said, Higuchi wrestled lights out overall. I don't even know if he gave up a takedown in the tournament. Spencer wrestled as well. I mean, he should be proud of getting silver. That's his first real big challenge at wrestling. It's his first Olympic or world medalist that he's wrestled. Luke coming up short to Higuchi. Had an impressive tournament. I know he wasn't too happy about it, but I think he should be proud. He should be really thankful, for having an Olympic medal. I wish I had an Olympic medal. I know a lot of people that wrestled came up short, and they die for it. So I think just being thankful to God, and being looking for the opportunity. I mean, he's got a lot to come and get in the future. So in the sport of wrestling. So and he was the highest medalist for the U.S. Spencer, my friend, I wish you would have came out and trained with me when I asked this spring. We asked Terry Brands if he wanted to come out and work out. I think you would have gotten the job done against Higuchi. I know how to wrestle him, so hey, it's all right though. Door's always open. Next time I send the invite, I hope you accept. Okay, so piggybacking off of that, we'll talk about the team race. It's kind of crazy. USA had no champions. Spencer was the best, getting silver. I think there was a few other bronze. 74 was Dake, and 86 was Aaron Brooks, and I think that was it. So 2 bronzes and a silver, not great for men's freestyle, like compared to, I think, like every year there's been an Olympic champion for the U.S. since like the 60s. So that's kind of crazy. Japan had an amazing tournament. I believe they had, gold at 57, 65, and a silver at 74. And then I think out of the 13 weights from men's freestyle, women's freestyle, and Greco-Roman, I believe there was 13 bids. 8 of which were Olympic champions, and 11 medalists out of those 13, which is insane. So obviously Japan was doing something right, especially in the light weights. Iran also didn't have any champions in freestyle, but had 2 champions in Greco. The Olympics felt real competitive even without Russia being there. So watching it, knowing that anything can happen in the Olympics, obviously you see, so you think, after Worlds last year, U.S. had a dominating performance, winning without Russia. And then going into this year, you look at Japan just light it up. So, people adapt, people get better. Wrestling's a very changing sport, so it's really cool to see some different outcomes than usual. One weight class that stuck out to me the most was 74 kilos. I would probably say Kyle Dake was like the most locked pick for me, watching, compared to the other weight classes and knowing like who really has the best chance to win it. No Sadakov from Russia. You have, a lot of missing pieces at 74. And Daichi Takatani came in and just lit up the field, getting, I think, tech falling Sabalov, my teammate from Serbia, with that little misdirection, low single. He was hitting it on Dake, put up 20 points on Dake. I don't know if Dake's given up 20 points in his whole wrestling career, to be honest. He's been so amazing. So watching Takatani do that, but then to go to the finals and get caught and pinned in a cradle by Jamalov from Uzbekistan, who the round before won because of a passive point that was given out, a stalling point, to even make the finals and then win in the Olympics that way. It was just like, I could never have, written that, script for any weight. So 74 for me was the wildest weight class. Hitting on women's wrestling now. Shout out Sarah Hildebrand for winning the gold medal, representing Indiana well. We're the only 2 gold medalists in a world and Olympic, having me winning a world championship, and in women's, Sarah winning an Olympic gold. That's amazing. Really proud of her. Amazing tournament. Depending, the cards were dealt perfect for her, and she, performed. She looked unbeatable. And, looking at the other side of that bracket with Yui Sasaki, also one of my close friends from Japan, her first loss since childhood, losing to the Indian girl in the first round. And then that girl going in, missing weight in the finals the next day. I think it's a little confusing how the way that they tried to do the repesage that day. I think it was a little unfair that they didn't allow like the wrestlers, the repesage, to go through who she beat beforehand. I don't know. I think maybe that way, just kind of giving it to the Cuban girl who was the semifinals, because she made it the furthest. She got the final spot. But I think they should have had like a repesage. I think it's a little confusing, and it was kind of one of those things, one of those little weird loophole rules that like we've never really come across yet in the sport. So if anything, something there should be done. But also the IOC should definitely look at something about the weight rules, and just seeing how this affects a lot of people. I mean, you got to definitely do something, adding more weight classes or changing the rules for weigh-ins maybe just one time a night before. I don't know what it should be, but they definitely is. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments, because that's something crazy about the weight classes. Last point for you guys, I thought was the most impressive wrestler, in my opinion, was Tajudinov, who obviously was the only repeat world champion from last year to go and win the gold medal this year at 97 kilos. Looked amazing. I mean, yeah, I don't know. He just looked so athletic. His technique is on point. In my opinion, probably could go down for pound best in the world right now. Just being so young too, he's going to be a great competing for Bahrain. And the other guy that I want to give shout out to that had a really impressive tournament was Sebastian Rivera for Puerto Rico. Going into 65 kilos, taking silver last year. A lot of people didn't think he belonged there, but knowing his skills, knowing how tough he is, that, you know, going in and just having that mindset right, wrestling the Japanese Kyuka to a really close match. That guy ends up winning gold. And then for bronze, beats Tumir Ochir from Mongolia, who beat Zane Rutherford earlier in the last chance qualifier. So to show you that what kind of talent Sebastian Rivera is, and to show the world that he belongs there, was pretty awesome at bronze. So that's it, guys. That's my opinions. That's my thoughts from the post-Olympics Paris 2024. Obviously, I wish I was there, but I was able to, as a fan, as a student of the sport, I was really able to enjoy it. And again, thanks for watching. We're going to have more content soon. Like and subscribe to our channel for more. Let's go. Always going for gold in everything we do, baby.